Imagine a world where evolution took an unexpected turn, a scenario where tigers, the solitary and enigmatic big cats, are transplanted into the expansive, sun-drenched savannas typically ruled by lions. In this alternate reality, tigers find themselves forced to adapt to a lifestyle that demands not only solitary prowess but also the complex social dynamics and cooperative behaviors characteristic of lion prides. This thought experiment explores whether tigers could adjust to life in a lion-dominated environment. And if so, whether they might one day rise to become the new kings of the savanna. The transformation required for tigers to flourish in such a setting is immense, involving not only behavioral changes but also the overcoming of significant ecological challenges inherent to life on the wide-open grasslands. Tigers are renowned for their solitary nature, relying on stealth, power, and individual hunting techniques honed over millions of years in dense forests and riverine habitats. Their evolution has been shaped by the need to ambush prey in secluded environments, where camouflage and secrecy are key. In contrast, lions have evolved to thrive on the open plains, where group living and coordinated strategies are essential for survival. Lion prides operate as tight-knit communities that depend on collective hunting, territory defense, and shared parenting. If tigers were to be thrust into this environment, they would be confronted with a series of formidable challenges that go far beyond simply learning to hunt in the open. One of the first and most significant challenges would be the need to adapt to social living. Tigers, by nature, are solitary hunters with territories that they fiercely defend. Their survival has historically depended on independence, with little to no reliance on group cooperation, in a savanna dominated by lions. However, social behavior is paramount. Lions use group dynamics to outmaneuver prey and protect their kin, and their social interactions are deeply ingrained in every aspect of their daily life. For a tiger to integrate into such a system, it would need to overcome instinctual barriers and develop the ability to cooperate with others, a task that could take generations of gradual behavioral evolution. The solitary tiger would have to learn to communicate with potential allies, share the spoils of a hunt, and even engage in complex social rituals that reinforce group cohesion. It is a monumental shift that challenges not only the tiger's instincts but also its very identity as a predator. Beyond social adaptation, the physical demands of the savanna pose a unique set of obstacles for a tiger. The open grasslands of the African savanna are vastly different from the dense jungles and forested regions where tigers typically roam. In the savanna, prey animals are more spread out, and the lack of thick vegetation leaves predators exposed to the elements and to each other. The tiger's hunting strategy, which relies heavily on the element of surprise provided by dense cover, would be compromised in this environment. Without ample vegetation to hide behind, a tiger might find it difficult to approach prey undetected. Moreover, the constant glare of the sun and the exposure to high temperatures on the open plains could affect the tiger's energy levels and overall stamina. The need to traverse long distances in search of prey, coupled with the challenge of avoiding detection by both prey and rival predators, would force the tiger to develop new methods of stalking and ambushing its target. It might have to adopt more open and calculated strategies that rely on speed and endurance rather than sheer stealth. The competitive aspect of this scenario cannot be understated. Lions have long dominated the savanna not only because of their strength but also due to their highly efficient social organization. When a lion pride hunts, every member has a role. Some are tasked with herding the prey, others with launching the final attack. This division of labor is critical to their success and provides a strong defense against other predators. For a tiger, an inherently solitary hunter, to challenge this system would require an extraordinary level of adaptability. The tiger would need to evolve a capacity for cooperative behavior, perhaps even forming its own coalition or hybrid social group that could rival the unity of a lion pride. This would involve complex changes in communication, territorial marking, and even shifts in personality traits, moving from a solitary, independent spirit to one that values teamwork and mutual support. Such a transformation would be evolutionary and behavioral in nature, likely occurring over many generations as natural selection favors individuals that can better cope with the pressures of group living. One intriguing possibility is that, in the face of constant competition with lion prides, tigers might begin to develop new strategies to gain the upper hand. Imagine a scenario where a particularly bold or innovative tiger begins to exhibit behaviors more typical of social hunters. It might start by forming loose alliances with other tigers, pooling their hunting efforts and sharing territory in a way that mirrors lion social structures. Over time, these alliances could become more formalized, leading to the emergence of a new social order among tigers, a sort of tiger pride that challenges the established lion dominance on the savanna. This would not be a simple matter of mimicry. However, the inherent differences in physiology, behavior, and even body structure between tigers and lions would mean that any such transformation would come with its own unique set of challenges and advantages. For instance, tigers are generally larger and more powerful individually, with a robust musculature that allows for explosive bursts of speed and formidable strength in close combat. In a one-on-one confrontation, a tiger's raw power could certainly give it an edge over a lion. However, when facing an entire pride, the situation changes dramatically. Lions leverage their numbers and coordination to neutralize the strengths of a single opponent. A tiger, even one as mighty as those we typically envision, would find itself outnumbered and outmaneuvered if it were to face a coordinated group of lions. To overcome this, the tiger would have to evolve not just in isolation but in a manner that takes advantage of its inherent strengths while compensating for its lack of natural social structure. This could involve developing sharper reflexes, better communication signals, or even a more adaptable hunting strategy that combines individual brilliance with elements of coordinated attack. The evolutionary pressures in such a scenario would be intense, selecting for tigers that could not only survive but thrive in an environment dominated by social predators. The adaptation to group living might also impact other aspects of tiger biology. For example, the traditional solitary lifestyle of tigers is closely linked to their territorial behavior. Each tiger maintains a large, well-defined territory that it defends against intruders. In the lion-dominated savanna, territories are shared and defended collectively by the pride. For a tiger to integrate into this system, it would have to relinquish or significantly modify its territorial instincts. This could lead to changes in the way tigers mark their territory, interact with rivals, and even in the structure of their social hierarchy. In this new paradigm, the most successful tigers would likely be those that can balance their natural inclination for independence with the demands of group living, a trait that might eventually allow them to challenge lion dominance, at least in certain areas. One of the most dramatic and challenging aspects of this hypothetical scenario is the confrontation itself, the eventual clash between a solitary or newly socialized tiger and an established lion pride. In such a battle, the initial skirmishes would be marked by chaos and unpredictability. The tiger, with its lightning-fast reflexes and powerful strikes, might launch a series of sudden attacks aimed at disorienting the lions. Its goal would be to isolate and neutralize individual members of the pride before the collective force of the group could be brought to bear. The lions, for their part, would rely on their numbers and cooperative defense, coordinating their movements to surround and overpower the tiger. Their roars, heavy with the tradition of their social order, would serve as both a rallying cry and a psychological weapon, instilling fear and uncertainty in the tiger. The battlefield, stretched out across a vast, golden savanna, would be a dynamic arena where speed, strategy, and raw power collide in a struggle for supremacy. In such an environment, every advantage counts. The tiger's solitary instincts might initially allow it to strike unexpectedly, but the lion pride's cohesion would quickly become a formidable force. Over time, if the tigers could successfully adapt to group living, they might begin to mirror some of the cooperative behaviors seen in lions. They could develop intricate social rituals that reinforce their bonds and establish a new hierarchy, one in which the strongest and most adaptable individuals rise to leadership. In this reimagined world, the battle for the title of apex predator would not be a simple contest of strength or speed but a complex interplay of social dynamics, individual bravery, and evolutionary innovation. The transformation required for tigers to become the new kings of the savanna would be nothing short of revolutionary. It would entail not only a change in hunting tactics but a complete overhaul of behavioral norms. The solitary tiger would have to learn to trust and work with its kin, sharing resources and coordinating attacks in a way that is entirely foreign to its current nature. This could lead to a fascinating evolution of new social behaviors, communication methods, and even a redefinition of what it means to be a tiger. The very essence of the species could shift over time, blending the raw, unbridled power of the tiger with the structured, cooperative nature of lion prides. The ecological consequences of such a dramatic shift in behavior would be profound. The introduction of a social tiger into the savanna could alter the balance of power among predators, impacting not only the lions but also other species that have adapted to the presence of an established hierarchy. Prey animals, too, would have to adjust to the new tactics employed by these hybrid predators. The landscape of the savanna, already a battleground for survival, might witness a new dynamic where the roles of hunter and hunted are redefined by the interplay between solitary strength and collective strategy. Over time, this could lead to the emergence of a new ecological niche, one where the very concept of predation is reshaped by the innovative behaviors of tigers that have learned to live in a lion's world. Historical parallels in the animal kingdom offer some insights into how such a transformation might occur, albeit on a much smaller scale. In some species, environmental pressures and the need for survival have led to dramatic shifts in social behavior and even physical characteristics. For example, certain populations of animals have evolved from solitary to social lifestyles in response to changing habitats or new predatory threats. While the transition from solitary to social behavior in a large carnivore like the tiger would be unprecedented, it is not entirely outside the realm of possibility. Natural selection, over many generations, could favor individuals that exhibit a greater propensity for cooperation and group defense, gradually leading to the emergence of a new social structure. This evolutionary process, while slow and fraught with challenges, highlights the incredible plasticity of life and its ability to adapt to even the most drastic changes in its environment. Ultimately, whether tigers could become the new kings of the savanna in a world ruled by lion prides is a question that challenges our understanding of animal behavior and evolution. It is a scenario that forces us to consider the limits of adaptability and the intricate balance between nature and nurture. The tiger, with its awe-inspiring strength and stealth, is a symbol of solitary power, while the lion embodies the majesty of social cooperation. To merge these two paradigms would require an extraordinary transformation, a reimagining of the very nature of the tiger itself. If such a transformation were possible, the result would be a predator of unparalleled prowess, capable of combining individual brilliance with the power of collective action, and ultimately, seizing control of a realm traditionally dominated by lions. In the end, this wild hypothetical serves as a powerful thought experiment, inviting us to imagine the endless possibilities that lie within the natural world. It challenges us to look beyond the established boundaries of behavior and to consider how even the most seemingly fixed traits can evolve in response to new challenges. The idea of tigers adapting to a lion's world, forming new social bonds, and emerging as the rulers of the savanna is not only a testament to the resilience of life but also a celebration of the endless creativity of evolution. It reminds us that in the grand tapestry of nature, the only constant is change, and that the battle for survival is as much about adaptation and innovation as it is about strength and speed. Thus, while the current biology of tigers suggests that they are ill-equipped for group living in the open expanses of the savanna, the power of evolution might one day give rise to a new breed of social tiger, one that blends the best of solitary strength with the strategic advantages of cooperative hunting. In this imagined world, the tiger could indeed challenge the long-held dominance of the lion, seizing the title of apex predator in an environment where the rules of survival have been rewritten. This epic scenario, rich in detail and possibility, continues to inspire wonder and speculation about what might be, if nature ever decided to chart a new course.